May 27th, 2015, and we are at the West Oaks Library with Richard Griffin. Thank you for joining us, Richard.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us how long have you lived in Ocoee, and how did your family end up in Central Florida?
I have lived, my family has lived in Ocoee since the 1890s, I believe. I've lived here most of my life. I have done some visits outside with my work. It's taken me away, but I've always come back to Ocoee.
Okay.
And what else was it now?
And how did your family come to settle in Central Florida?
Well, I'm not real sure how they wound up down here. They came in from Georgia. The family came down from Georgia and settled down here. I don't know exactly what brought them down here, other than maybe job opportunities.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I can, could think of.
So your grandparents were here?
Yes, my great-grandparents were here. Great-grandparents had at one grandfather had a grist mill over on Old Winter Garden Road, and just across from where the cemetery is now on Old Winter Garden Road. There used to be an old grist mill there. He had that. He built one of the homes, one of the original homes in Ocoee that still stands on Oakland. I believe it's Oakland Avenue. And then his son, my grandfather, worked for the railroad here. And he was a conductor on the train running from Jacksonville to Tampa. And, and my grandmother, his wife, ran a restaurant down in Tampa for a long time. And then they moved back up, they moved up here and bought the house where my grandmother's house is now. And, that's what they've done,
What were their names?
There was Lee Griffin. My grandfather was Lee Griffin, and Mary Griffin.
Okay. And what were your parents like?
My parents, Dad was, Dad was an attorney. He was my idol. He grew up here in Ocoee, and then moved to Tampa. I guess because of my grandfather and grandmom having opened up my grandmom opened up a restaurant down there. Anyway, they moved down to Tampa, and that's where he went to high school. He went to Hillsborough High School, and he played football there, and he stayed over an extra year so that he could get a scholarship to play college football. And I believe he was all-state in high school. And, that was the way he saw for him to be able to afford to go to college. And he thought it was very important to go to college. So he went to, he eventually he walked on to Mississippi State and got a scholarship. And he played 4 years at Mississippi State. And his senior year, 41, they won the Orange Bowl, undefeated champions, Mississippi State. And he went on and he became a fighter pilot in the Marine Corps and flew over Korea and was shot down twice over Korea. And then came back here and went to law school at University of Florida. And my mom worked to put him through school. He wasn't working and they weren't making any money, but Mom worked as a secretary at the college and made a little money, and he coached football up at the high school there. And they made it, and they already had 3 children when they got to Gainesville, and I guess then I came along. Add insult to injury.
Are you the baby?
I'm the baby. I'm the baby of the family. And so Dad got his law degree and worked up in Tallahassee for a short while, and eventually moved back here and opened a practice in Winter Garden. And he practiced in Winter Garden in Ocoee for 40 years, I guess, probably. He was the city judge of Winter Garden, Ocoee, and Windermere at the same time, at one point in time. He's been in the House of he served in the House of Representatives. I must have been in the 7th grade at that time, because I went up and I served as a page for a week up there in the House when he was there. And he also ran for the state senate and was defeated in that. But he's always had a hand in his politics, and he's known a lot of people. He was classmates with one of the governors, and he knew a lot of people in politics. And so he was a businessman and an attorney.
And what was your father's name?
Julius Benjamin Griffin.
Okay. And you said that he tried to get the roads widened?
When he was in the House of Representatives, Disney was coming along. There was talk about them coming in. It was kind of a secret thing, and they were trying to acquire the land out there where they are now located, and they were doing a lot of things like that to make it happen. So he was kind of privileged to some inside information on that. And I remember he brought home a packet one time of what Disney's future was going to be, what Walt Disney's image was. And Walt Disney had a very different image of what it is today. He was thinking of along the lines of Epcot, which would have been a prototype city, domed, with no vehicles, all Wedway people movers and tramways, things like that, where the Disney employees would live and work in the parks, but they'd have a place to live there. Wow. And it was going to be domed, completely climate controlled and everything, and that was Disney's vision. But when he passed away, the leadership went in a lot of different directions after that. But that was his dream, and that was what the people in the legislature here were being shown at the time. Yeah. So because they were trying to get favorable status to be able to come in and do what they wanted to do. And Disney was a heck of an impact on this place. A lot of jobs were created, both in the construction portion of it. And then when it was completed, or it's never been completed, it's continually under construction, but the growth of it and it just really changed the face of this county in Central Florida, I would think.
And so your father was trying to help prepare the area?
Yeah, he saw that there was going to be a need for road development in the county to accommodate all the people that are coming to Disney and all the people that are going to be working there. How are they going to get to work? If you lived in Apopka, you needed a way to get to the back entrance of 535 Disney. Well, there's only a 2-lane road, any way you go from Apopka to there before the expressways came in and all. But those are toll roads, for the working guy, that's not always an option. So there's still only 2-lane roads going out there pretty much. Through Ocoee, I've been away and I came back, and I have seen that the road work just hadn't kept up with the growth that's going on around us. And I think we need to address that. So, anyway.
And you had said that your father did help the working man, that he would accept payment in kind for his services?
Yeah, Dad was, when he first got started in his practice and all, being one of the only attorneys around, he had the opportunity to serve a great many people that didn't have a lot of money, and he was just an old country lawyer. He would, in lieu of payment, because a lot of times they couldn't pay to have something done. Can you get my son out of jail, or can you handle this DUI from whatever? A lot of times they didn't have any money to pay, so he would take vegetables and things like that, whatever that they could barter. It was almost like a barter system to help them out, and he made a lot of good friends in the community over the years doing that.